Mayor Johnston, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
We are really happy to have you here. It's exciting what's going on here at 1900 Lawrence Street and Startup Week. Tell us a little bit about your experience with Startup Week and why it's so important to Colorado.
Yeah, I've been coming to Startup Week almost since it started, I think probably now 17 years ago. And what was so amazing is so many of the founders here were people who had a dream. They wanted to start a business, wanted to start a company. And this is a pioneering spirit state. People come here because they have a can-do belief they can do hard things. But often what would happen is they'd start an idea, it would start to grow, and someone would say, that's a great idea. You should move your company to San Francisco. Or that's a great idea. You should move your company to New York, because you can't possibly launch a big company in a city like Denver. And these are the people who said, no, I refuse to do that. I'm going to build my company here, and I'm going to build an ecosystem so that other people can build their companies here. I just did an interview with Brian Leach, who's the CEO of Ibotta, the largest tech IPO in Colorado history. They went on the IPO in the stock exchange last year. I remember when his idea was a napkin. It was scrawl on the back of a napkin, and he was at Startup Week like everybody else saying, I have a crazy idea. And he's doubled out on having an office in downtown. There are 1,000 employees are here. They have a policy to hire Denver people first. It's sort of that kind of value statement of, yes, I'm in it to build a company, but I'm more in it to build a community. That's what Startup Week is about, and today's been a great feeling of that being still true.
Well, and Brian is a great advocate for the vitality of downtown Denver.
Yes.
And that's what I also see that Startup Week does too, is it shows the manifestation of the vitality of our downtown area. What do you think is unique about Colorado that makes it such a great place to start a business?
I mean, a couple. One is, we have the strongest women-led startup community in the country right now. This is the best place in the country for women founders. But I think there are two things. One is there is a real sense of opportunity here and of entrepreneurial spirit. That's just true of Colorado since its founding. But the second is, as people will often say, you'll hear in these rooms, Colorado doesn't have sharp elbows like other parts of the country do. So people are both deeply committed to their own mission, and they're also excited to help you along the way in your mission. So it's not as if everyone else has to lose for me to win. People are deeply committed to building their own company, but they also actually want to see their neighbors, their partners, their friends succeed at the same time. And so people feel like here you have a lot of stories of someone giving you a hand up as opposed to someone kicking away the ladder once they make it to the top. And I think that, to me, is very Denver. And that's the vibe we love about the city.
That's what I have always found in my career. Being in Denver, you can pick up a phone and get to somebody with one telephone call, as opposed to some of the larger markets that your ethical behavior may not be known to everybody. But here it is.
It is.
It is absolutely.
Yeah, I always say, I use the mantra for the city of Denver. We believe that all our problems are solvable, and we're the ones to solve them. Like, you don't have to wait for someone else, point to someone else, blame it on someone else. You just put people in the room. And you're right, there's no problem in Denver you can't solve by calling 6 people and say, hey, let's all get in a room together and figure it out. And I think Startup Week really embodies that spirit.
Well, and I think your administration embodies that experience.
Thank you. We are working hard to do that. We say sometimes we really want to be an open API. We want to be a place where if you're building something great that can make the city better, we want you to plug right in and help us improve. And so we're open on partners. We're looking for solutions, and we're looking to work together, knowing that no one city does this alone, no one company does it alone. But the revival of downtown that you can feel happening now is a function of a lot of folks who said, I want to build a business here and I'll stay. A lot of city employees and nonprofits working on that, but you can feel the momentum as it goes together, and that's exciting.
Well, it feels to me like you do have that collaboration in the private sector with what you're doing at the city and county. Tell me about your second DEN AI Summit that's coming up at the end of the month.
We're really excited. We launched last year, the first convening of its kind in North America, really, which was, we call it DEN AI. And the idea was, how do we use AI as a tool for social good? There are a lot of folks that are really excited about AI, some folks that are worried about AI. Our belief is we have a lot of hard problems to solve in the city. Can we have some of the best innovators and technologists help think of solutions for how we can solve those problems? So we bring together people from the private sector who've started companies and people from the public sector who are running cities or running states. And we say, here are the things we're trying to fix. Can you help us fix it? So we did it last year. It was very successful. We're doing our second one this year. It sold out months ago. It's kind of the hottest ticket in town. But the benefit is we'll be bringing in real solutions that help make public services cheaper and make them more effective. The one example I love from last year is we had a founder that had a system called CivCheck, which helps expedite the process of permitting when you're trying to build something in the city. Not a sexy topic, very important if you ever tried to get your patio finished on your business.
My husband's a general contractor.
Okay, so you
well
know this very well.
I know the dinner time.
So I'll just say very quickly, it used to take us about 28 days when you submitted an application for a permit for us to process the application and let you know we had received it and confirm that the process had begun. We can now do that in about 1/10 of a second, right? Because we have an AI tool that we're going to partner with a young founder to do. And what that means is our plan reviewers now can use their time to do the things that only humans can do. They can actually sit down with the substance of the plan, look at it, evaluate it, give feedback. They don't have to manage 75 stacks of papers to sort through and find out what needs a stamp.
That's awesome.
We're very excited about it.
I'm happy to go home and talk about it. So when you look at from a founder's perspective, if you could change one thing with a blink of an eye in our ecosystem to make it easier for founders, is there anything that comes to mind?
To make it easier for founders, I mean, we're trying to really build a community of investors here in Colorado that makes it easier to raise capital right here in Colorado, and you see that happening. And the benefit is when you have companies that build and grow here and exit and make a lot of money, they then reinvest in the next generation of founders. And so you take a Dan Caruso from Zayo, or again, Brian Leach we talked about from Ibotta, or Rachel Romer Carlson. Those are all folks who started companies here and are now reinvesting in the city here. And so we want you not to have to fly to New York or San Francisco to raise money. That's part of it. We're really focused on having great talent here so that people can hire up. Right now, we're one of the second or third most educated cities in the country in terms of preparation. We're the top destination for kids under age 30 to move to Colorado. That's a great win for us. So we're trying to keep bringing talent, keep bringing dollars, and then removing any barriers that are in the way for founders to grow. And so we're always sitting down with them to say, what can we do to make your life easier? And I think that's a big part of it. One of the things I'm excited for founders to do and for growing companies to do is to have more and more of a presence in the city center. One of the things we want to help do and have them help us do is fill some of our empty commercial office space. Like every downtown in America, post-COVID, a lot of folks started working from home, didn't come back. We've really focused on reactivating that couple of million square feet of office space that's empty. We're going to convert a lot of them to be apartments, but many of them we're going to attract businesses that have gone remote to come back downtown, or folks that have left to come back, or recruit new businesses to come, because we think the more of an ecosystem you create, the more people love the work and the more positive impact it has on the city as a whole.
Yeah, we talked to Courtney earlier talking about multidimensional city centers, and yes. I think we're well on our way. The last year has been really beautiful to see what's happened in downtown. We come down quite a bit to the theater and go to opera, and yes. It's a great place to be. So what would you, the momentum that you've gotten in the last year, where do you want to see it taking forward? Yeah,
I mean, we want a couple of things. We want this to be the best place to do business in the country. So for you to start a business, grow a business, work in a business. We want it to be the safest big city in America. We're on the path to do that with now we have the largest reduction in violent crime of any top 100 city in the country in the last year, largest reduction in homelessness of any city in American history. So we want it to feel safe and vibrant. We want it to be affordable for folks. But our goal is that both anyone in Denver who grows up with a dream of starting a company knows they can start it here. That you'll have a city center that's the envy of all the rest of the country. It's the most vibrant downtown in America. As you know, we have the best theater in the country, have some of the best sports teams in the country, have some of the best arts, have some of the best restaurants now with our 7 Michelin star restaurants. So we want it to be a destination for folks from around the world and a gem for the folks who live here.
Well, I think we're on the right path. Thank you so much for coming in and talking to us today. It's great to see you, and we appreciate everything.
I enjoyed it. Look forward to doing it again soon.